Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Durlabhamanusho Deho Dehinam Shanabhangurai Tatrapi Durlabham Manye Vaikuntha Priyadarshinaha Aradhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Va Kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhur Matamidam Tatradarana Paraha Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, entitled Lord Krishna Shows the Universal Form. So we read till text number 15. And we were talking about the Namakaran ceremony of Krishna, first of Balram, yes, day before, and yesterday we talked about Krishna, that how he has multiple names, how Gargacharya mentioned that he has multiple names, he comes in different colors and different attributes, different rasas, but this Krishna is referred as Avatari or Amshi. He's not Amsha, he's not Avatar, he's Avatari or Amshi, the source of all Amshas, the source of all Avataras. So we will continue from next verse and see what Gargamuni is speaking further. Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Hari Govind Jai Jai. Eshava Shreyadhasya Gopa Gokula Nandana Anena Sarva Durgani Yuyam Agyastarishyatha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhisharana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. To increase the transcendental bliss of the cowherdmen of Gokula, the child will always act auspiciously for you. And by his grace only, you will surpass all difficulties. Purport. For the cowherdmen and cows, Krishna is the supreme friend. Therefore, he is worshipped by the prayer, Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. His pastimes in Gokula, his dhama, are always favorable to the brahmanas and the cows. His first business is to give all comfort to the cows and the brahmanas. In fact, comfort for the brahmanas is secondary, and the comfort for the cows is his first concern. Because of his presence, all people would overcome all difficulties and always be situated in transcendental bliss. Hare Krishna. So, Gargacharya continues to speak about different names, different colors of Krishna, and here he's talking about some of the qualities of Krishna. To increase the transcendental bliss of cowherd men of Gokula, this child will act auspiciously. Gopa Gokula Nandanaha, the word used, Nandanandanaha, or Rajendra Nandanaha, or Yashoda Nandana. So here the word is, you can remember one more name of Krishna, Gopa Gokula Nandanaha, the one who gives pleasure to the cows and to all the Gokulvasis. Gopa Gokula, just like a cowherd man born in the cowherd, in a family of cowherd men as the son of the estate of Gokula. So, to increase the transcendental Nandana of the cow herd man. Shreya Esha va Shreyad Ad Dhasyad. So I really like this line here. Because of his presence, people will overcome all difficulties. In short, when Krishna is present in one's life, then everything is auspicious. Right? Kunti Maharani says this, Arjuna says this. But when Krishna, when you were there, we were able to overcome all the difficulties. And without Krishna, even tiny things become very difficult. Very simple things become very hard. And with Krishna, very hard difficulties, one is able to overcome those. Faith in the divine can make one surpass unimaginable obstacles. This is Krishna consciousness. This is seen all across. Prahlad, so much difficulties. Dhruva, so many difficulties. And any Pandavas, Mata Draupadi, any great soul. But when Krishna is near, all the difficulties run in fear. Right? It's not that the situation changes, but once proximity to Krishna makes one so strong, one's closeness to Krishna, and then one is away from Maya. Either we are close to Maya or we are close to Krishna. The more we are close to Maya, those difficulties will bother us more. And one who is close to Krishna, those difficulties will not trouble one. This is Bhakti. Any more comments anyone has in this text? And will be situated in transcendental bliss, Brahma Bhuta Prasannaatma. Let's read text 17. Yes, Sipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Guruji. Hare Krishna devotees, Nandar Pranam, all Guru Prabhupada, text 17. Puraneno Brajapate Sadhodashu Pidita Haja Arajake Rakshamana Jigurdasun Samedhita. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. O Nanda Maharaja, as recorded in history, when there was an irregular, incapable government, Indra having been dethroned, and people were being harassed and disturbed by thieves, the child appeared in order to protect the people and enable them to flourish. And he carved the rogues and thieves. Purport: Indra is the king of the universe. Demons, thieves, and rogues always disturb Indra. Indrari bhayakulam lokam. But when Indraris, the enemies of Indra, become prominent, Krishna appears. Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. Indrari bhayakulam lokam nidanti juge juge. So Krishna always comes to protect his devotees. Jada jada hi dhamasya glani bhavati bharata obhuthana dharmasya tadhamam sijami aham. So devotees are always protected by him. So when there is a devotee, Krishna is always present there. So there is no fear for the devotees, and they can, as you said, Prabhuji, will surpass all difficulties by grace of Krishna. Back to Prabhuji.
So much, Prabhu. This child appeared in order to protect the people. And establish law and order in the world. As we saw yesterday, young person killed innocent kids in the school. 20 kids were killed, and there are 2-3 teachers were also killed in this tragic shooting. Why is this all happening? Why is this all happening? Simple reason is lack of Krishna consciousness. It's one straightforward answer. Lack of, what to speak of, even like bhakti principles, even the basic etiquette, the basic human, even animals don't kill others for no reason. What to speak of talking about high bhakti philosophy. Even humans are not being even human. Humans have degraded lower than the animal. Like a tiger will not kill the deer if the tiger is not hungry. It's not a tiger just, hey, I just had to kill you. Like, right. But so there is a great need in the world to share Krishna consciousness, to share the real tattva, to protect the people, to enable them to fly. They're outside less. The biggest rogue, the biggest thief is inside mind. थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलता हूँ, मेरी माँ ही। तो सबसे बड़ा शत्रु, जैसे गीता में भी आता है, इज हमारा खुद का मन। हमारे खुद के मन से बड़ा कोई शत्रु नहीं। और बंधुरात्मात्मनस् येन आत्मेव आत्मना जिता अनात्मानस्तु शत्रुत्वे येन आत्मेव शत्रु। तो सबसे बड़ा माइंड, सबसे बड़ा शत्रु है अनकंट्रोल्ड माइंड। और उसको कंट्रोल में लाने के लिए भक्ति की बहुत आवश्यकता है। बिना भक्ति के माइंड कंट्रोल में नहीं आएगा। चाहे कितने भी माइंड कंट्रोल के सेमिनार अटेंड कर लें, कितनी किताबें पढ़ लें, कितने मोटिवेशनल सेमिनार अटेंड कर लें, जब तक बिना भक्ति के, क्योंकि इस माइंड इज लाइक अ मंकी, हायर टेस्ट नहीं होगा। बट कुछ लोगों के पास कुछ करने को नहीं है तो फालतू की चीज़ों में समय बर्बाद करते हैं, तो फालतू के आइडियाज आते हैं और फालतू का फिर वो आतंक मचाते हैं लोगों में। सही गलत की समझ ना होने के कारण, मन पे नियंत्रित ना होने के कारण, और साथ ही साथ हम एडवांसमेंट में इतना बढ़ गए हैं कि देयर आर मोर गन्स देन पीपल। इंटरनेट पे सब कुछ अवेलेबल है, गन्स फ्रीली अवेलेबल है, सब कुछ, बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसे बता रहे थे चैतन्य चरण प्रभु कि क्या कारण है, या क्या कारण है, क्या गन्स ज़्यादा इजीली अवेलेबल है वो कारण है? आपने सुना? सब मैंने भेजा था वो, सुना? एवरीवन गेट चांस टू हियर कि वो उनसे पूछा गया क्या कारण है, भगवद गीता के दृष्टिकोण से आप बताएं क्या कारण है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि एक कारण पिन पॉइंट करना मुश्किल है, कि ऐसा बोलें कि भाई अगर गन्स इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं होगा तो ऐसा नहीं होगा, ये भी सही दृष्टिकोण नहीं है। क्योंकि वो गन्स नहीं होगा तो वो, अभी इससे पहले क्या हुआ था कोलोराडो में या कहीं पे, वो ट्रक से परेड में उड़ा दिया, काफी लोग उसमें घायल हो गए। तो उसके मल्टीपल कारण है, और सबसे बड़ा कारण है अनकंट्रोल्ड माइंड। जो माइंड कंट्रोल में नहीं है तो वो औरों को हार्म करता है। पहले अपनी उसने दादी को ख़त्म किया, फिर बच्चों को मारा, 10-10 साल के, 11-12 साल के बच्चे छोटे छोटे, और टीचर्स को भी मारा। और तो बहुत ज़रूरत है। दिस चाइल्ड अपीयर्ड इन ऑर्डर टू प्रोटेक्ट द पीपल, especially in Kali Yuga, especially Lord Gauranga has appeared to protect all of us. आमे बिना बंधुवार किया चे तोमार। सबसे बड़ा बंधु कौन है? भगवान से बड़ा बंधु कोई नहीं है। And enable them to flourish, हमारे ही फ्लरिश मीन्स हिंदी में क्या बोले, कि हमारा ही इससे भला हो, इसलिए भगवान आए हैं। भगवान का आने का कारण सबसे बड़ा कि हमारे अपने हमारे भले के लिए हम भूल गए। कृष्णा भूली सही जीव अनादिर बहिर्मुख अतएव माया तारे दे संसार दुख। भगवान को भूलने से दुख की अनुभूति होती है, दुख में ही रहते हैं, और भगवान आते हैं हमको सुख देने के लिए। असली सुख क्या है? हरि नाम हरि नाम हरि नाम एव केवलम। यही असली सुख है, यही भक्ति का सुख ही असली सुख है। सत्यम सत्यम पुनः सत्यम हरि नाम एव केवलम। जो भक्त होता है, कृष्ण भक्त निष्काम सकलेव शांत भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि कामी सकलेव अशांत। और भगवत गीता में लिखा अशांतस्य कुतो सुखम। जो अशांत है वो कहाँ से सुखी होगा? अर्थात कृष्ण भक्ति, भगवान आए हैं हमारे अंदर के दुष्टों का दमन करने के लिए, उनका नाश करने के लिए, अंदर सिस्टम बनाने के लिए, लॉ और ऑर्डर का, धर्म का, धर्म मीन्स लॉ एंड ऑर्डर। तो हमें इसका, भगवान के प्राकट्य का, भगवान के नाम रूप गुण लीला का लाभ लेना चाहिए, जिससे हम इन दुष्टों को खत्म करें अंदर के, और धर्म की स्थापना हो हृदय में। हरे कृष्ण। किसको, एनीवन वांट्स टू से समथिंग? ठीक है, आगे पढ़ते हैं। टेक्स्ट 18। प्रेम संकीर्तन प्रभु, want to read please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text 18. Je etasmin mahabhaga pritim kurbanti manava naraya abhibhavanti etan Vishnu pakshan ivashura. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Demons or Asuras cannot harm the demigods, who always have Lord Vishnu on their side. Similarly, any person or group attached, because such persons are very much affectionate toward Krishna. They cannot be defeated by demons. Here, Srila Prabhupada then
You can't hear, Prabhuji. Is that only me?
Krishna.
Maybe it was me, I was not able to hear, or I don't know.
No, Prabhuji, I can hear too, Prabhuji.
Hello, can you hear me?
Prabhuji, it get interrupted when you were talking. I don't know if it's only me or all.
Maybe you can repeat the last one or two lines.
The last line I was saying that in Kali Yuga, Krishna came as a holy name. And by holy name, chanting the holy name, we can associate with Krishna. And that way, as Prabhupada mentioned in the last line, the internal enemies, the senses, and the mind, the six senses. So they can be subdued only by helping from Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add or correct.
Hare Krishna, thank you Prabhu. जो राक्षस हैं, प्रभुपाद यहाँ लिख रहे हैं अनुवाद में, वो जो राक्षस हैं, असुर हैं, वो देवताओं को दुख या हानि नहीं पहुंचा सकते। क्यों? Because Krishna is on their side. भगवान जिसकी साइड है उसको कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता। गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब में भी एक जाखो राखे साईया मार सके न कोई। इसकी भगवान रक्षा करते हैं, उसको कौन हानि पहुंचा सकता है? प्रहलाद महाराज की रक्षा भगवान कर रहे थे। हिरण्यकश्यप और उसके असुर गणों ने कितना कितना प्रयास किया हाथी के तले को चलवाने का, जहर देने का, पहाड़ से फेंकने का, जहरीले सांपों के बीच में डाल दिया, अनेकों लाखों प्रकार से प्रयास किए, लेकिन भगवान उनकी तरफ थे। तो भगवान हमारी तरफ है लाइफ में, तो कोई हानि उसको नहीं होगा। मतलब इसका ये मतलब ये नहीं है कि उसके जीवन में बीमारी नहीं आएगी या उसके जीवन में उसका शरीर खत्म नहीं होगा। यहाँ पे प्रोटेक्शन की बात होती है तो आध्यात्मिक प्रोटेक्शन की बात होती है। ठीक है, फिजिकली भी भगवान प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, प्रहलाद को जैसे किया, बट द बिगर प्रोटेक्शन इज स्पिरिचुअल प्रोटेक्शन। उसी प्रकार कोई भी व्यक्ति और ग्रुप, वाओ एनी पर्सन और ग्रुप, तो ग्रुप से समझ सकते हैं कि एनी कम्युनिटी, चाहे टैम्पा कम्युनिटी हो, अलाचो कम्युनिटी हो, दिल्ली में हो, बॉम्बे में हो, हैदराबाद में, कोई भी कम्युनिटी हो, तो वो कम्युनिटी जो कृष्ण से अटैच्ड है वो बहुत भाग्यशाली, एक्सट्रीमली फॉर्चुनेट। तो हमें भी एज अ कम्युनिटी हमें अटैचमेंट कृष्ण से बढ़ाना चाहिए। और कृष्ण से अटैचमेंट ज्यादा होगा ना तो थोड़ा, अरे इसने वो कह दिया, उसने ऐसा कह दिया, अरे इसने मुझे ऐसा, वो सब चीजें बहुत फीकी लगेंगी। क्योंकि कृष्ण से जिसका अटैचमेंट है वो इन चीजों में ज्यादा पड़ते नहीं है, वो हायर टेस्ट में अटैच्ड है। अर्थात हम इस्कॉन में है, इंटरनेशनल सोसाइटी फॉर कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। तो कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस इस्कॉन में वी शुड ऑलवेज सी दैट कृष्णा से हमारा अटैचमेंट है, और भक्तों से भी है, कीपिंग कृष्णा एज द सेंटर, राइट? व्हाट इज ऑल ऑफ आवर रिलेशनशिप? कीपिंग द भागवतम एज द सेंटर। भागवतम हैज केप्ट अस टुगेदर। ये भागवतम ने हमें जोड़ के रखा है। भागवतम इज नॉट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम कृष्णा। सच पर्सन्स, ऐसे लोग बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी अफेक्शनेट टुवर्ड्स कृष्ण और भागवतम। या सेवा हो, अलग अलग प्रकार की सेवा है, तो वो हमें जोड़ के रखती है। तो इसलिए थोड़ी मोटी चीजें हो तो उन्हें हमें सीरियसली नहीं लेना चाहिए। जो फिर डीमंस आएंगे, दे कैन नॉट बी डिफीटेड बाय डीमंस। डीमंस क्या है कि अलग अलग प्रकार से आते हैं, कम्युनिटी में भी आते हैं। अरे वो तुम्हें मालूम है उस भक्त ने तुम्हारे लिए क्या कहा, ऐसा कह दिया, हो नो नो, ऐसा कैसे कह दिया, ओ वो तुम्हारे पीछे ऐसा बोल रहा था। तो माइंड हमें ऐसे ऐसे तरीकों से नचा सकता है, आपस में वैर उत्पन्न हो सकता है, मिसकम्युनिकेशन, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग, उससे कई बार भक्त लोग छोड़ के भी चले जाते हैं। तो हमें ये कंस और कंस के दूतों से, अब कंस मतलब ये नहीं कि वो तलवार लेके राक्षस आएगा, वो कंस, ये कंस अलग अलग प्रकार से आ सकता है। कई बार पूजा लाभ प्रतिष्ठा के रूप में आ सकता है, अरे उसको देखो कितना रिस्पेक्ट दिया, तुमको रिस्पेक्ट नहीं दिया, तुमको तो लगता है प्रभु जी नोइंगली इग्नोर कर रहे हैं, ऐसे फूट डाल सकता है मन में। हो सकता है कि वो जो कुछ ऐसा उनका इंटेंशन भी ना हो, बट माइंड वही है ना, इट कैन मेक हेवन आउट ऑफ हेल एंड हेल आउट ऑफ हेवन। तो मन में फूट डाल सकता है, मन में मिसकम्युनिकेशन हो सकता है बाय इंटरनल एनिमीज। आजकल बाहर के शत्रु कम है, इंटरनल एनिमीज ज्यादा है। इंटरनल एनिमीज क्या? पहले तो जो ये सेंसेस है, आंख, कान, नाक, नेत्र, ये सारी इंद्रियां। तो आज ही मैं सुन रहा था एक्चुअली, चैतन्य प्रभु बता रहे थे कि 6.6 जैसे माइंड वांट्स टू शो यू अ हॉरर मूवी बट यू डोंट हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट। जैसे कि मान लो आप किसी रिलेटिव के घर गए, वो बोले हॉरर मूवी दिखाऊं, तो हम बोल सकते हैं कि भाई मेरे को हॉरर मूवी का शौक नहीं है, आप देखो। तो माइंड कई बार हॉरर मूवी दिखाएगा, ओ ऐसा हो गया तो वैसा हो जाएगा। किसी को कई बार हॉरर मूवी हो सकती है, कई बार एनवियस मूवी चल सकता है, कई बार कैसा भी मूवी चल सकता है। माइंड का काम क्या है? टू कीप पॉन्डरिंग, अलग अलग दिशाओं में घूमना बंदर की तरह। कई बार ऐसा थॉट आएगा, अरे ऐसा हो गया तो क्या होगा, अरे ऐसा क्या होगा, फ्यूचर में क्या होगा, मेरे बच्चों का क्या होगा, मेरे बच्चों के बच्चों का क्या होगा, मेरे बच्चों के पोतों का क्या होगा, you know, और ऐसा हो गया तो क्या होगा। दुनिया भर की माइंड में थॉट्स आएंगे, और जनरली कैसे थॉट्स आते हैं, ये रिसर्च में नेगेटिव थॉट्स ज्यादा आते हैं। डिफॉल्ट स्टेट में नेगेटिव थॉट्स ज्यादा आएंगे, दैट्स नेचुरल, बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ क्योंकि किसी को वीडियो गेम्स खेलने, अल्कोहल वगैरह, उस उधर अपने आप माइंड भागता है कंडीशन स्टेट में. फॉर प्यूरिफिकेशन वी हैव टू उसको कंट्रोल करना होता है. सो these are our internal enemies. Again connecting to 6.6 कि कंट्रोल करेंगे भक्ति के माध्यम से. अपने हमारे बस की तो बात है नहीं कंस को मारना. कंस को मारने के लिए कृष्णा को ही बुलाना पड़ेगा, और कृष्णा आएंगे जब हम उनको पुकारेंगे. इन सबसे सरल, इजी, आसान, सुलभ कलयुग में एक ही रहा है. कली दोष निधि राजनस्ते वेक महान गुना कीर्तनादेव मुक्तस्य कीर्तनादेव कृष्णस्य मुक्त एव परम विजेत. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हे भगवान, आप मेरे कम स्वरूपी अंदरूनी राक्षसों का वध करो. ये प्रार्थना है. बेसिकली अनर्थ निवृत्ति, हमारे अनर्थों को नष्ट करो. काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मद, मत्सर्य रूपी जो अनर्थ हैं, कंस के जो दूत बैठे हैं हमारे हृदय में, आप इनका दमन कीजिए. जितना जितना कृष्ण से अटैच होंगे एज अ इंडिविजुअल, एज अ फैमिली एंड एज अ कम्युनिटी, उतना उतना हमारे लिए और हमारी फैमिली और कम्युनिटी के लिए उतना ही अच्छा रहेगा. किसी की कुछ टीका टिप्पणी?
So Prabhuji, first I beg forgiveness from arrogance from Prabhupada and all of you. So the last line, they cannot be defeated by demons. I think this is, they cannot be ultimately defeated by demons, because we see so many times demons kicked out the devotees from their place, and then by Bali Maharaj, and then Krishna came. So they suffered Lord, and we see the devotees also suffered by the, like what happened in Bangladesh. So sometimes we defeated, but not ultimately defeated, because the other people can ask us then why it is happening to devotees and those things. As we as a devotee, we know that there's some past baggage, past karma, so many things, but these are, we can be defeated but not ultimately. Please correct me.
Yes, that's a fair statement. And actually that defeat is not really a defeat. That's basically to increase their love for Krishna, or increase their loyalty for Krishna. Like His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was telling, one Chopati brahmachari, very, very sincere brahmachari, His Grace Toko Krishna Prabhu, was very, very sincere, very, very nice, very, very exemplary devotee. Then after a few years, he got married, but very nice devotee in Grihastha ashram. He got a daughter, and suddenly he got a very severe cancer. He must be around 30, 32 years approximately. Very like advanced stage of cancer he got. And he left his body after a very short time, maybe like a few months from that time that cancer was diagnosed. And all that is in a beautiful video recorded. Now it may seem that, it's defeat, right? He was nice devotee, family, now young wife, young daughter, it's certainly painful. It's very painful for that family. But in one way, he left the world with a smile on his face, with the devotees around, with his spiritual master around, in the temple of Shri Radha Gopinath, getting the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. So what we see, again, these are little esoteric things. We may not tell this to general masses who may not be aware of these topics. They may not appreciate it. So we have to tell things which they can digest. What we see is from a very tiny, infinitesimal part of Jiva's journey, right? Jiva's journey. This life is not even a dot on a big infinite line. It may seem to us very big, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. But talk about the eternal Jiva's journey. It is a very tiny infant dot, right? But we think that that is all in all. And we may think that Krishna ne aisa kyun kiya us tiny dot mein. But Krishna is saying from the infinite journey of the Jiva, which is very big. But we are seeing that tiny dot only. So हमें लगेगा कि defeat हो गया, apparently, as you said. Ultimately, yes. Ultimately, उसमें in the same, like Jatayu got defeated. Now, was it really defeated? What could be a bigger fortune for a Jiva to leave one's body in the lap of Lord Ram? So Jatayu was not defeated by Ravana. It was only to arrange the pastime. So we can only understand that Lord's plans are perfect and his devotee avashya rakshibe Krishna. Name bhakta pranashyati. Pratigya tava govinda name bhakta pranashyati. Iti samsmritya pranam sandharyami aham. That my devotee will never perish. Now, when we say that, we're not saying कि उसका death नहीं होगा कभी. Oh, my devotee. So all the devotees, as I am a devotee, so I will live forever, or I will not get any disease, or that's not Krishna's protection. So Krishna's protection is talking about my devotee will transcend the cycle of birth and death, will take no more repeated birth and death in the cycle of, or even if it takes, it will be higher, and eventually we'll go to Bhagavatam. So these are some thoughts, but if anyone wants to add or correct or share, does that clarify or confuse or?
Nice, Prabhuji, especially Jatayu's example. Yes, specifically I was talking about the Adi Bhotik. So that the example you already put it there. Thank you.
Yes, Kashish Mataji wants to say something.
Ji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, all devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, in this context, we should also don't forget that we are on this earth to balance our previous karmas also. And Krishna never interferes in them. So we'll get the love of Lord by our bhakti. But what we are suffering, we are going through, or we will go through, is also a result of our past deeds, karmas. So that is, we should also consider that Lord will give us his protection, love, but he'll never interfere in what we have to see, because when that is balanced, ultimately, then maybe after doing a lot of bhakti, then maybe we are eligible to go back God home. This is how I feel.
Nice point. But that's true for neophytes. But someone will say, hell, well, look at that great sannyasi Maharaj, why he got cancer. Because for advanced soul, Krishna says, karmani nirdhyati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. As we were discussing, I shared some notes also in Prashant Mukund Prabhu's class. Those who are doing bhakti to Lord Vishnu or Krishna, 4 types of sins are gone. Prarabdha, Aprarabdha, Kuta, and Bija. All 4 are gone. That means that the sin may be at any stage of rectification. जो कर्म जो present में मिल रहे हैं उनके reaction, जो मिलने वाले थे, that means I'm supposed to get that 1 year from now. Some I'm supposed to get because of my past activity 2 years from now or 10 years from now. Krishna's, and we have read a story also in the Bhagavatam. I forgot. It's a very short story. In just 2 verses, we read that. There are multiple stories, but that one really, hit this point home, as we say. That king was supposed to get a repeated birth in the cycle of birth and death, but he rendered Krishna Bhakti, unallowed Krishna Bhakti, and he had to take no birth again. Story in the Bhagavatam. So now the question may come, कि फिर उनको क्यों कैंसर हो गया? Then the answer is, Krishna takes the reins of his sincere devotees, and whatever he orchestrates is by his divine will. Those who give the reins of their life completely to Guru and Krishna, then Krishna takes the reins, and whatever happens is then, he takes charge. Then it's only to intensify their bhakti. Ups and downs are not because of their past karma. Then for a less intelligent person or an outsider, it may seem like that. And they are such a great soul. They may say, oh, I'm suffering because of my past karma. But we have to understand that it's all Krishna's arrangement. Does that help?
Ji Prabhuji. Ji. Hare Krishna. Thanks so much.
Very cool. Thank you, Mata. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Dear Prabhu wants to read. Okay, I guess they opened something else. So maybe Vijaya Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Tasmana atmajayom te narayana samo gunehi Śrīya Caitanya Mahāprabhu samahitah. Translation. In conclusion, therefore, O Nanda Maharaj, this child of yours is as good as Narayan in his transcendental qualities, opulence, name, fame, and influence. He is extremely like Narayana. You should all raise this child very carefully and cautiously. In this verse, purport. In this verse, the word Narayana Shamaha is significant. Narayana has no equal. He is Asmoradva. No one is equal to him, and no one is greater than he is. As started is Shastra. Yastu Narayananam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devata Samata Vaitehe Vikesha Viksta Sa Pasandi Bhaveda Dharuvam. One who quotes Narayana even with great excellent demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma is a Pasandi and agnostic. No one can equal Narayana. Nevertheless, Gargamunis used the word Sama, meaning equal, because he wanted to treat Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had become Nanda Maharaj's son. Gargamuni wanted to impress upon the mind of Nanda Maharaj, your worshipable deity Narayana is so pleased with you that he has sent you a son almost equal to him, a qualification. Therefore, you may designate your son with a similar name, such as Mukunda or Madhusudana. But you must always remember that whenever you want to do something very good, there will be many hindrances. Therefore, you should raise and protect this child with great care. If you can protect this child very courteously, as Narayana always protect you, the child will be good as Narayana. Gargamuni also indicated that although the child is extremely qualified like Narayana, he would enjoy more than Narayana as a Ras Vihari, the central enjoyer of the Ras dance. started in a Brahma Samhita Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sabardama Savaya Namanam. He would be served by many gopis who would all be as good as the goddess of fortune. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Comments, Mata? Any thoughts, reflections? Audible? Okay. Thank you so much, Vijay Mataji, for reading this beautiful verse. So Garga Muni is telling something here. क्या बोल रहे हैं कि कृष्णा नारायण sama. It's one of the offenses to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Now Garga Muni is not a Pashandi, as Prabhupada is mentioning, not an agnostic, not a non-devotee. He's a great soul. So saying this, he's not making any offense, rather he is clarifying the position of Krishna. Bhagwan ki Bhagavata, Bhagwan ki position ko wo बता रहे हैं कि ये कोई साधारण जीव नहीं है, ये साक्षात नारायण है. रादर नारायण उनके अंश हैं कृष्ण के, वो पहले ही हमने चर्चा किया. तो सारे उनके जो भगवत्ता के गुण हैं, यश, नाम, कीर्ति आदि, सब भगवान नारायण की तरह है. एग्जैक्टली लाइक नारायण. किसी और साधारण जीव के लिए ऐसा बोलना ये एक अपराध है. It's like an offense. But to say for Krishna, certainly they're the same, right? So that's one point. Another thing which I was thinking, यहाँ पे Prabhupada जी लिख रहे हैं, you should all raise this child very carefully and cautiously. Very carefully and cautiously. क्या फर्क है इन दो शब्दों में? Carefully and cautiously. Anyone would like to elaborate? What's the difference? Or what, like this, what do we understand about from these two words? Carefully and cautiously.
Prabhuji, I'm thinking maybe carefully means carefully like not to be harmed or something like that, but cautiously like now that we know his supreme personality of Godhead, we should be very cautious on how treating him, right? So I think carefully is like humanly a bit down, and cautiously is more on top level. That's what I'm thinking, but please correct me.
Thank you for your thoughtful comments. Anyone else wants to add a few thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, here carefully means not to treat him like an ordinary person. And cautiously is to protect him from demons like Kamsa.
Very nice. Sometimes these words may be used interchangeably also. But I think the essence you both conveyed. So I was thinking that we are also trying to raise the Bhakti Lata in our heart, is it not? हम भी भगवान को अपने हृदय में रेस करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. मेरे मन मंदिर में आ जाओ गिरिधारी. But by the way, who all does not understand Hindi at all? Anyone like has like no understanding of Hindi, or like is speaking like what I'm talking speaks, you are not getting anything in Hindi? Anyone?
I understand, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Vasati Mataji. Shilpa Mataji, you understand a little bit?
Able to manage, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, same here. I mean,
to manage, yeah. Okay, good.
It should be okay.
Okay, so I'll try to mix the
Don't ask to speak though. That would be funny.
okay,
Thank you,
sure.
Prabhu. This is like a teaching for us also, Hindi terms.
So हम भी भक्ति को भगवान भक्ति को अपने हृदय में raise करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. We're trying to raise Krishna in our hearts, right? So we can learn this lesson that we should be careful and cautious. Careful, that means not take it for granted. And handle with care. कि गुरु कृष्ण ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कौन भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसाद पाए भक्ति लता बीज. कई बार क्या होता है, फेमिलियरिटी ब्रीड्स कॉन्टेम्प्ट. हम इसको साधारण समझते हैं, अरे क्या माला, क्या वही हरि नाम, क्या वही एकादशी, क्या वही भागवत रोज रोज, क्या वही हरे कृष्णा बोलते रहते. दिन क्या होता है, उसकी कीमत खो देते हैं हम. तो फिर क्या होगा, सावधानी हटी दुर्घटना घटी. इसको हम साधारण समझेंगे, इसको सम ऑर्डिनरी समझेंगे और उसकी वैल्यू खो देंगे. हीरे के समान जो हमें ये भक्ति मिला है, भक्ति साधना भक्ति का जो हमें गुरु के आशीर्वाद से, by the blessings of Guru and Krishna, we have received such a great thing. There is nothing more in life we can ever imagine to get than the mercy of Guru and Krishna and the Bhakti Lata. But if we are not careful and cautious, we will take it for granted. और cautiously का क्या है कि demons attack करेंगे. कंसा आएगा, कृष्णा गर्ग मुनि बोल रहे हैं, सावधानी दे रहे हैं. Be alert, be cautious, because demons are going to come and attack. A lot of troubles will come in raising Krishna. So in our life also, हमारे जीवन में भी जब भक्ति हम करते हैं तो कठिनाइयां तो आएंगी, और सबसे बड़ा माइंड अनेकों प्रकार के चैलेंजेस लाएगा. कॉम्प्लेसेंसी, डाउट, फॉल्ट फाइंडिंग, ईर्ष्या, द्वेष, एनवी, ये सारे प्रकार के काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद, मत्सर्य, लस्ट, एंगर, ग्रीड, एनवी, प्राइड, इल्यूजन, all these difficulties will come. So we have to be cautious. Weeds will grow. जो पेड़ों के साथ क्या बोलते हैं, वीड्स को, जो पेड़ों को नाश करते हैं. आज ही हम जा रहे थे वॉक पे, मेरी माँ मुझे बता रही थी कि ये क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पेड़ को खाता है, कुछ ऐसे पेड़ हैं,
खरपतवार, खरपतवार,
वीड्स.
It's unwanted weeds.
ऐसा पेड़ है, वो झाड़ी की तरह ना पेड़ के ऊपर चढ़ जाता है और पेड़ का सारा न्यूट्रिशन ले लेता है. That's weeds. और कई बार it seems it's like a tree only, but ऐसा वो झाड़ के रूप में, it's like a weed. It takes the nutrition from the original seed and the tree and basically ruins it. अंदर से खोखला कर देता है उसको. तो वैसे ही अगर हम cautious नहीं रहेंगे, weeds को remove नहीं करेंगे, तो अंदर से खोखले हो जाएंगे. We will be hollow from inside, shallow from inside. So we have to be cautious. And of course, this can also be related to any service. My wife shared a nice article where a senior Vaishnava was mentioning that while doing cooking, we should be extremely careful, cautious, and one other C was used, careful, cautious, and considerate or something like that. Because क्या हुआ था कि senior वैष्णव को प्रसाद दिया, उनके प्रसाद में प्लास्टिक आ गया. बाद में पता चला, ओ प्लास्टिक, प्रसाद में प्लास्टिक. So somehow it happened, right? Somehow and the cook was not probably so careful and cautious. So कहीं से तो आया, अपने आप तो हवा से उड़ के नहीं आ गया. Something happened in the between the cooking or serving and the offering. So we should be careful in our services also. We should be cautious while doing our services, because it's important. Krishna consciousness means attention to details. छोटी छोटी चीजें बहुत मायने रखती हैं भक्ति में. Or anyone else wants to say anything? And of course, while taking care of our own children also, or anyone, right? Any devotee, because they're also Krishna's child, to raise them very carefully. They are not ordinary children. We can also learn this, that Krishna has given us some children, son, daughter, or parents, or anyone, husband, wife, any relation, any god, brother, god. We should deal with them very carefully and cautiously and not take it for granted. अरे मैं तो इससे हर हफ्ते मिलता हूँ, familiarity breeds contempt. अरे भाई wife रोज ही मैं देखता हूँ, शक्ल इसकी क्या बड़ी बात है. We may forget that they're also Krishna's devotee. They are Guru's child first. They are Krishna's child. My wife second, but they're Gurus. How would I deal with my Guru? How would I deal with Prabhupada? How would I deal with Krishna? That's how we should deal with them. जैसे हम भगवान से और भगवान के शुद्ध भक्तों से जब हम ऐसा आचरण करें, वैसा हमें करना चाहिए. परिवारजनों से भी उनको हमें फीके में नहीं लेना चाहिए, उनको हमें ग्रांटेड नहीं लेना चाहिए. ऐसा होता है, but therefore we want to read every day so we can remind ourselves every day. Careful and cautious. Hare Krishna. Any more thoughts, comments, corrections? Yes, anyone wants to say before we pause for today? कोई कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं, कुछ करेक्ट करना चाहते हैं?
So, Prabhuji, so Gargamuni hiding to tell Nanda Maharaj that this is Lord, Supreme Lord, Krishna, because to protect the child from the Kamsa. But he knows that he's a Supreme Lord. Right, Prabhuji? That's why he's giving as an iron Shama.
Gargamuni knows, yes.
Yes,
Gargamuni
okay.
is well aware of that. But still we will later see, because of love of Nanda Maharaj never thought like that. Although Gargamuni told all these things, although Krishna showed his magnanimity and his extraordinary power, which no ordinary child can show, in multiple episodes, which are some we have discussed and a lot more we will discuss, but Yashoda and Nanda never thought like that. Thank you. Anyone else?
Gargamuni is that Yaduvan's guru?
Ji Mata. That's correct. We read that. He is the guru of Yaduvamsha. Gargacharya, Gargamuni, same personality. I share a photo also in the group. I think most of you may have seen that. So he was doing the Namkaran Sanskar in the cow shed, Goshala mein. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Roji, I have a question about this purport. Where Prabhupada explained that Gargamuni used the word sama, means equal, because he wanted to treat Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who had become Nanda Maharaja's son. The next line is Gargamuni wanted to impress upon the mind of Nanda Maharaja and your worshipful deity Narayana as is so pleased with you that he has sent you a son almost equal to him in qualifications. So why Gargamuni said that it's almost equal? He is equal to Narayana, right? Why he used a son almost equal to him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a nice point, Mataji. Well, if you understand the context here, the context, if we take literally, it should, it's like Krishna has more qualities than Vishnu or Narayana, right? Like, and has more opulences and has more rasas. So you have to understand the essence that generally the worshipable deity of Nanda, Yashoda was Narayana, and they would always pray Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. And they also did a lot of, in the previous life, they wanted a child like Narayana or the Supreme Lord. So like that. Getting a child like Narayana is not possible. Therefore, Narayana comes himself. So, indirectly hinting, like how he indirectly hinted that he absorbs the colors. He takes different colors, अलग-अलग रंग लेते हैं. तो यहाँ पर भी indirectly hint कर रहे हैं कि ये साधारण कोई जीव नहीं है. ये नारायण के सम है. He's equal to Narayan or almost equal to Narayan. Indirectly hint करने के लिए. Like he cannot like directly, he's not speaking also like, pretty much that Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam wahi aa gaye hain. The thoda direct and indirect, like if we see these verses, he's using a combination of that he's great, almost equal to Narayana, but he's not like explicitly telling this also.
Okay.
In the last few verses, we see this theme as well. As Prabhupada also mentioned, that he is indirectly hinting this. Garga Muni is indirectly hinting this.
Yeah, क्योंकि in other sense प्रभु जी नंद महाराज को तो पूरा पता नहीं होना चाहिए कि Krishna is the supreme Lord, because that they're Kana. So that's why Garga Muni also like not directly saying, but saying it's like, I mean, in other way.
Absolutely. और बता भी देंगे तो भी क्या? Because Krishna is the source of remembrance and forgetfulness. He will cover them with their Leela Shakti. The Mata Yashoda was for one moment thought that, this is all going to come later, so we'll discuss that. For a moment she thought that this is not my baby, right? This is something extraordinary. But then Krishna covered the Leela Shakti and started. And then again she said, I must be like daydreaming or something. Something like that. So this is the beauty of Krishna, that the love potency, the internal, the Leela Shakti is covering is so thick that even sometimes Krishna forgets that he is God. And that adds to the sweetness of the pastime. Because if Krishna knows I am God, then why will I don't have to cry to get milk. I don't have to cry to play with my friends. They'll come to me. I'll show them my mystic power. But that will remove the sweetness out of the picture. Right? As we discussed yesterday. Tumi kona bara log, tumi ami sam. So thank you for this wonderful discussion. We'll pause here. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Apara Ekadashi ki jai,
Jai.
Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyaścha Kripasindubhyaścha Pattanam Pavanam Vishnu. Thank you so much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare